Gentlemen, you've seen new business. I think that on page 4 at the beginning, we had to bid out the survey work to complete, to be completed at the London Reed Cemetery. I think we need to amend that to say if not currently on file. Okay, can we make that, okay, clarification? Yep.
I'll motion to approve the new business presented with the change Mr. President Matthews.
I'll second.
All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That being unanimous, the motion carries. Now we're on to, I believe, commission concerns. And Dr., not Dr., but Charles McCain.
That's all right. Just a couple of things, reminder type things, that we do have our, in addition to the Bluegrass Gospel weekend, it's also the kids fishing tournament this Saturday, beginning about 9:30 at the boat dock, at the Mud River Dam. And encourage any and all to be there, and if you're not in the age bracket, you can volunteer to help. Bring all the kids we could get. Last year we had about 125, and so Mary's got everything pretty well organized and ready. So we look forward to that. Did have a call, and Commissioner Banks mentioned there earlier about somebody calling in the Green Show area, the Harts area out there, and it's about getting water across the Guyandotte River. Rick Roberts has worked on that, and there's a huge piece of tract of land over there. They have a church camp on, plus several houses. People live over there, and they're pretty much, I guess, locked in as far as an economic way to get water, and so they are concerned and need water badly. And I just told the lady, I talked to her a couple of times, and told her that we were in discussion with Rick Roberts about it, and he had done a cost estimate, and basically, if I remember right, from the last time I talked to Rick, cross the river was the best way to go rather than around through the Logan
Yeah,
Bridge.
it's like 2.5 miles or more if you take the road. And the Logan County PSD has water along Route 10 on the other side of the river, so that's by far the most economical way to get there.
And in that discussion, I think that it's hard to get a funding for a small project like that, not impossible, but difficult. And what option we have as a commission, if we chose to do that, would be consider asking the government and our legislative people for a grant type thing, just to help us get that river crossing and whatever we might be able to do to get, once we get it across there, then spread it out and get it to the people in the church and things like that. So I guess I'd just like the commission to consider having it as an agenda item next time to ask the governor and our representatives to come forth with money to help us at least get the river crossing.
Let's do that. Let's put, Mary, we need to put that on the agenda.
Yes.
And the other thing, just like to commend Mr. Baker and his staff for the work during the election. It just seems to me like it gets more complicated, as to my age, but it's overwhelming at times to keep track of things. And the staff seemed to me like they were really focused and dedicated and got the job done. And Mr. Baker seemed to understand it much better than I did, so I just really appreciate being able to feel confident what we voted for was the right thing, because to me, I have trouble following it sometimes. But at the end of the day, I felt comfortable with the results that we had, and I do appreciate that work.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Dr. Banks?
I just wanted to comment on basically the job these two guys have been doing on the river over there. I think it's really important that we get more people involved, because it's tough on, when you just got a few doing it, you know how much work you have to do. And so I think it's important that we look at this from Parks and Rec, maybe even helping Parks and Rec out a little bit as far as getting people involved with helping cleaning and things like that. So that's something that I think is important to do. I think Cold River Group, when I talk with them, they were willing to help us any way they could and things of that nature. So I think it's important if we're going to develop with the opening of the Hatfield Employee Trail System in Wayne County, you're gonna have a lot of traffic coming up Route 10 and things from Huntington, or at least I hope that's the way they come. We'll cross Route 37 and things of that nature, and we can show them the Guyandotte River Trail System. Anything that you can add to those systems, around those systems, if the system helps them and they help the system. So any of those things, I think, would really help us in what we're trying to do. And I think that's the importance of the timing of what you're doing too, because the Wayne County system will probably open up this coming year. We already have the system on Route 3, so, you know, I think it's a good time to do this, and I think it's a good time if someone wants to get involved in the business of doing some of those things, it's a good time to do that also. I also would like to thank Darrell and the county clerk and staff, because it's refreshing to be able to ask the county clerk a question about these elections and get a good straight answer on it. And Darrell has, even when he doesn't know it, he tells me, I'm doing this, trying to figure it out, and I'm doing that to try to figure it out. And that's something that I think is important in the learning process of becoming any elected official in any of these offices. When we get in here, we don't know what the heck we're doing, because we haven't done it before. And over the period of time, you either learn or you don't. And it's refreshing to be able to depend upon the county clerk's office and the job they do, and not have to worry so much about what may or may not be happening. I agree with the statement made by the paper, there's nothing to see here. And I think that's important for people to realize, you know, that there's ever effort being made to make sure our elections are clean, and to make sure that we elect the people that the people want us to elect. And I think with the county clerk's help, we're doing that. I do think we might want to look at just some thoughts as far as with the River Road Parks and Rec, is maybe sitting down with the commission and getting something really worked out as far as how we want to see it work, and what we can do as far as where we can infuse monies and things like that to make sure that it does work, and get to talking, maybe have the EDA also talk to potential people that might be interested in starting up businesses associated with that. It's the same thing with the EDA being involved in starting up businesses associated with Hatfield-McCoy Trail Systems. Is that, you know, we've got plenty of people that need their four-wheelers fixed and their side-by-sides fixed, and they need places to stay, and all these potential places could be up Route 10, they could be over Route 37 and things of that nature with the opening of the Wayne County system. So it's a good time for us to maybe start some conversation with local business people, local people that are interested in recreational type businesses, and tell them what we're doing. You know, a lot of people don't really realize that system's going to open up, and when it does, if we do the right job in marketing our county and Huntington and those areas, we can actually divert traffic up Route 10 instead of having to go across Route 64 and then down 119. And that would be the way that we could stimulate, I think, the businesses in our areas to make sure they've got these people going by these areas in Lincoln County versus circling our county. And it's the quickest way to get to either one of these systems from Huntington is up Lincoln, through Lincoln County. So, you know, I think somewhere along the line we need to sit down and brainstorm with you guys and say, you know, where are you going to need this, or how can we best affect this, and get people from the EDA, the Parks and Rec, you guys, the commission, and sit down and get an overall plan of how we're going to develop the Guyandotte River as far as recreational usage and things of that nature. That's all I have.
Yeah, thank you.
I think you throw it up there, and I didn't want to sound too harsh here, but I think that group of citizens that I mentioned, at the time of year, I lost my dad, and I felt that was friendship, and people really rallied around. They brought weed eaters, they supplied gasoline, and all you gotta do is drive by that place, and I know you remember what it looked like.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we didn't do anything from anybody, and we didn't represent anyone. And those people there in Branchman are very proud of their little park that they have.
It's a lot safer place there too. It's much more visible and things of that
Well,
nature.
it's had a rough enough, long reputation for a number of years. It's a very large mail route over there.
Yeah, I was glad to get
Like we get looked down upon continually, so.
I was glad to
anything
get
that
my
we
wife
would
out of
do
Branchville.
would be an improvement.
But you know, just to emphasize what Doc Van said, the Guyandotte River, along with the Coal River.
Correct.
You know, you have the Coal River Group, we have what you know, what you are doing. And it's not like we have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, I travel to Petersburg a lot to fish up at the trough, up the Moorfield. You know, there's public access, and that place is polluted with people. all the time, and we can have the same thing here. We have actually
Cole is
two.
fortunate that you're located nearby Charleston.
Yeah,
And we have the same situation here with the Huntington Logan Group on Guyan River.
that's
As
exactly
it
right.
develops, we can pull for both. Each end of the county is really pulled together. You go through Chapmanville on 119, you know what it's done to the southern end of the state. We're in a real good position.
Yeah, we are, and I think we are with both rivers. I think you're all doing a great job over there.
With the Tour de Coal that they have every year, last year, 300 boats went from Allen Creek to St. Albans. So I think this is their 12th year, I believe, so, you know, I'd love to see 300 boats coming down.
This commission was the first to sign on with that Cole, gave them $1,000 to help them get started. And it shows that it's a little bit of interest on our part. Everybody else is do all, out there doing the work.
Right.
And since Delegate Eldridge is here, I'd like to commend him with the work he's doing on the sewer system in Allen Creek. I know that's something that we've been working on. I've been working on. Glad to hear that he's kind of taking the lead on this, and hopefully we can get something in place, because that's going to attract a lot of business into our area, into Lincoln County. But also one other thing, you know, we have a lot of work to do. Just the commission, the different things that we have to do. I mean, all across the county with water projects, with tourism, trying to develop the infrastructure for a business. And, you know, one thing that I'd like to emphasize, you know, there's been, you know, with the rain yesterday and the day before, there's been a lot of people impacted by the water, especially in the Griffithsville area. And it's something I think that we're gonna have to look at in the future, as some way that we can alleviate the flooding that happens whenever we have torrential rains like we have, and it seems like we have them every spring. And there's a lot of areas in our county that are, that deal with it. They have good systems where the water can drain out, but there's a lot of places in our county that don't. And the people that seem to be, you know, getting hurt are the people who are less fortunate, who don't have the money to maybe move or to do things to prevent some of the flooding. So that's one of the things that I'll be speaking with the Delegate Eldridge about, and about some ways that we could rectify the situation, basically from Hammer to Yacht, and that's where we're at. So just to know, it's nice to know that we have, the commission is working hard in different areas. Also, we should be possibly applying for that wireless assistance grant for the cell phone tower, maybe towers. So that's just something that we're continually working on. Since you showed up, would you like to say anything?
No, I just want to take in what's going on. I don't have an opportunity to come to Vernon County Commission meetings, but I wish I could come to more. I know the Tour de Coal thing, I personally, out of the legislature, have given Bill Curry probably close to $15,000 to $20,000 in the last 8 years to build the facility at Tornado and to grow on that right there. I have had the chance to do the Tour de Coal. I'd like to see more things on the river for people to get out and maybe rest, whatever, you know. I don't know if that's too much of Lincoln County.
Well, it's public access, and most of that is Lincoln County, all the way through there. I mean, especially, you know, our side of the bridge.
And what I
our side
hear
of the
people
river.
say, we wish we had more outputs and inputs on
Yeah.
the river.
Public access.
People could, yeah. Maybe that, a lot of people don't like doing the 8-hour float. They could do a 3-hour float.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of places on the coal and on the Guyandot where we need to do something where you don't have to drag a boat straight up the hill. Because, I mean, you know, you're not getting out of those places. I mean, it's the same way all the way across the state.
So it's gone a long ways, I know, since I've started dealing with them. I know they've come a long ways.
Yeah, we're gonna ask you for some money for these guys for the Guyandotte too.
That's fine.
It's in your future there.
Would love to jump on and do more things on the guy.
You're one of the ones we wanna get involved when I was talking about putting this group together and things of that nature. I think we need to do it from Charleston on down, you know, to make sure that we're all on the same page and make sure we have funding mechanisms in place and things like that.
People are dying to come here. People from Texas, I mean, you see more and more in And with the Hatfield McCoy, it's bringing people here, and people are thirsty. They like doing things. They like kayaking. They like that kind of stuff. And the Guyandotte, we have 2 treasures in Lincoln County with the rivers. And we need to take more advantage of it and advertise more. I think for every dollar you advertise, you get full in return. So we just, keep building for the future.
Appreciate it, Jeff.
Thank
Well,
you.
if nothing else, I move that we adjourn.
Awesome.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Wait, wait. I need you to sign something.